I need you to take a look at your calendar right now and say, is this a side hustle or is this a business? I understand. You got kids. I got kids too. But you need to be able to block off time for specific things, because otherwise this is never going to be a business. This is just going to be a side hustle. You're listening to the Unapologetically Unstoppable podcast. It's about going deep into who you were made to be and following that, no matter what. Where your calling is in the front seat and fear, well, it's trying to stop you, but fuck that guy. And getting the tools and tips to become unstoppable. I'm your host, Jeanette Peterson, where not too long ago, I had to find my calling. Here, you'll hear from me and other online experts on how to discover your calling, the steps to make it happen, and how to monetize it. I believe when we're unapologetic about our calling, we become an unstoppable, expansive force. So let's get started. There's something funny about doing things that seem the exact opposite of what you're actually supposed to be doing, or what your mind thinks you should actually be doing, right? So every month, Allison and I take a week off. Every month. Oh, and Friday and Monday. Okay, but it's not like we're actually taking that time off, right? It's like we have a set aside time to actually work on the business. I mean, like really deep in the business. This is when we do our planning, we do our social media planning, we do our quarterly planning, we go through all the SOPs and documentation, we check on all of our clients. We do that stuff in order to be better. I typically am more of a fly by the seat of your pants, build the plane in the air kind of girl. And she's more of I need to have all this stuff prepared so I know exactly what's happening before we start building something, because I'm not going back to the store. And that's fine. We get along just fine doing the things that we do best the way that we do it best, right? So it actually helps me a lot. Not gonna lie. So like when we start our CEO week, we start off the first Monday, like we do every Monday, with a call about the week. We go over all of our clients. We go through all of our team. We just make sure everybody on the team is doing good and what they need to get from us. We go through all of our ClickUp, things that are expired, things that we need to go through. And then we dive deep into future planning. I love future planning. That's where I live. I live in the future. I don't live here in the now because I just don't. I don't know why. But I live in the future. So when I think about all the things that are going to happen in the future, this is where some people say like they manifest it and they dream it and they blah, 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 all these buzzwords. I don't know. Pick up freaking buzzword right now. But I really start to envision myself doing those things to be at the level that I want to be at. You know how they say like dress for success, like put on the suit if you want to get the job. I'm not putting on no suit. I'm wearing my leggings and maybe some sweatpants. Bra optional. However, I am going to treat my business like a business. I'm not going to treat this like a side hustle, because if I want side hustle money, that's all I'm going to get. I want big money, like big money, y'all. So I'm going to treat this like this is I'm going to work harder for this than I've ever worked for any job that I've ever had. So when I do that, I need to make sure I'm taking these boundaries on the things that are most important for the business. So there's two ways to work in your business: on it or in it. And you have to do both. You can't just do one. So when I'm working on the business, I I can't be distracted. I get too distracted, ADHD. So I have to be in a very strict mindset with myself of this is exactly what I'm going to do for this week. We go through all the social media planning. We go through all the podcast planning. We go through all the images. We go through all the programs that we're going to be putting out. Any of the master classes that we're teaching, we go through all of that stuff and make sure it's 90% or however percent good, and make sure that we actually have time carved out to do those things. And so like there's planning time and there's doing time. And there's also like our client work, right? So that's what happens on CEO week. End of the CEO week, at the top of a quarter, we're doing quarterly planning. We're planning for the entire quarter. We're planning not the intimate details, but we like to have a flow of where we're going. And then each month we break it down into, okay, these are the specifics of exactly what this is going to be like. Because we want to build a business, not a side hustle. We're making money here, y'all. Hello? Making money. So treat this like a business. And so then there's also times where we're working in the business, right? That's when we're showing up. That's when we're doing all these different things. That's when we're creating things, freebies, master classes. That's working in the business, the actual creation of things. But you have to work on the business too. So I think that after we decided to really take a hard stance on these are our boundaries, we're not going to work on Monday and Friday because Monday is prep day. We get ready for all of our client calls, make sure everything's in a row. And Friday is our catch up. That's when we make sure we answered all the emails that we have in there, get back to all of our clients for any questions that they had, update ClickUp, et cetera, et cetera. There's only so many hours in a day. So we make sure that we're working on the business and in the business. So do you do that? I need you to take a look at your calendar right now and say, is this a side hustle or is this a business? I understand. You got kids. I got kids too. But you need to be able to block off time for specific things, because otherwise this is never going to be a business. This is just going to be a side hustle. And that's fine if that's what you want. But I need you to start focusing on what you actually want from this, what you're called to do with this, so you can actually go and be obedient and do those things. Because businesses just don't make themselves. If they did, everybody would have one. And let's be real, y'all. You feel like you're the only one out there in your circle that has one. So what you need to do right now is carve out 4 hours a month at least to work on your business. That's when you can plan out all your social media. You can find out what you're going to offer that month, the one thing you're going to offer, and then also some collaboration. You need to be working with people. Who are you going to work with this month? And just think about that so that way you can get your shit together on your business. Let's go, girl. Oh my goodness. Now, I know you're ready to take this to the next level. So what you need to do is go to Facebook, join a community of badass, unapologetically unstoppable women at the Unapologetically Unstoppable Community. And you can find me on the grams at Jeanette.Peterson or at Peterson and Bell. This podcast was created by me, Jeanette Peterson, and Allison Hartman. Our producer is the Amy Williams. Talk soon.